2018 GSL Season 2 Codas Overgrowth.
Welcome back to the GSL Codas. It's Trap versus aLive coming up now. Yeah. A PBT. Zest did narrowly win that best of 3, so he is residing now in the winner's match. SortOf has another shot to redeem himself.
Yeah,
and I think that shot is very real.
It certainly is. Like, he could have beaten Zest in that series. Zest ends up winning, and it was a great series. They both played very well. There were definitely a couple mistakes on either side, but that's StarCraft for you. They really pushed each other really, really heavily in that series. What a damn good one. I hope that we have more as good as that tonight. Or this afternoon, I guess.
That's right. This is the daytime cast, Artosis.
Yeah.
Trap, phenomenal Protoss player. Definitely with his own approach to the matchup PvT. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does against aLive. I feel like Trap has really risen up over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
aLive is basically a mainstay here at the GSL.
13 Codesses at this point.
Wow.
Quite a few. He did well. Those are his recent major achievements. We're not going to count Super Tournament 1 from last year where he got second, I guess. But aLive, I mean, he's always a very good Terran, and he has small periods like at the beginning of last year where he was vying for one of the top Terran spots, really. He was having a lot of great results and achievements. But he's kind of fallen back down to his normal pecking order, where it's like he's a good Terran, but we don't expect too much out of him. And I don't know, it's such a weird thing watching his career, his ups and downs. He has little periods of really strong play and then little periods of just like, oh, this is a good Terran play.
Right. So, we're going to start things out on Catalyst. Then Darkness Sanctuary. If we go to Game 3, it's going to be on Blackpink. Our game's now loading up. Again, a very tough group. A lot of these players quite evenly matched. Zest looking much better than he has in previous GSLs. And, of course, sort of with a solid game, a solid series, I should say. Definitely don't want to fall down there. Ideally, want to get out quick.
Jin Air Green Wings. Trap. Titan EX1. aLive.
All right. Who do you think takes this one? It's your gut feeling.
My gut tells me Trap does.
Yeah.
What about you?
Me as well. I think that Trap is insanely underrated. I think he has been since Heart of the Swarm. And I think that this year we're going to see him rise up more and more. He does consistently show us really strong play in all matchups. I would say, in my opinion, this is his weakest matchup.
Oh my God. Is he going to get this SCV?
Jeez Louise. How do you let that happen?
That's it.
Can you make the full turn to get back? Wow, it turns around.
Watch, that probe's going to be out there to zone and body block.
This is why he's making
It's like a StarCraft 1 probe, man.
Yeah, seriously. Look at he forces the command center to be off center.
Where is he? Oh!
Look at this dance.
Well, this is a more entertaining early game than we normally get.
Yeah, no, I love it.
This matchup.
The Marine awaits. Okay, it's over. Everyone go home. It's over.
All right.
There's nothing to see here.
It's going to pick up when we have a little bit more tech here for Protoss.
Oh, look at the build that we're seeing.
Ooh.
This is a good build for this map, too. Yeah, oh, he's making a Marauder.
I love this is so cool. You know, aLive has had really unique builds from him.
Yeah.
He likes to be a little bit aggressive. Usually when he's had more success, I should say, he's been a little bit more aggressive in kind of his own way as a Terran player.
And a build like this, and he's actually going multiple barracks off this, when you go for something like this concussive shells, it's really good against a build like we're seeing from Trap. What Trap has done here is you get your Cybernetics core before your Nexus. You go Zealot, Stalker, and you're looking to cancel the command center.
That's right. And this
That's
is
the
like
big play.
This is like Protoss quicksand here. If you overextend with that, and the concussive shell is done and it's about to finish now, then the Protoss can't really retreat. If the Stalker gets pegged, and you can see he's trying to actually edge forward, because if he can just get one shot on there, the Stalker dies. They can't get back home.
Yeah, and I would say that this is probably as hard a counter as you can possibly have to the opening trap did.
Yeah.
Realistically, like, you're still going to get the command center. Their Nexus is slower. You get a free unit kill, and you have pressure. It's like all these wonderful things. But the way that Trap is countering this right now, 2 thumbs up. Okay, he's getting his shield battery. Of course you're going to need that. He's been making nothing but Stalkers. Okay, he's got the right units to micro. And getting into the Robo. Oh, wow, his Zealot
He saw
even
the second barracks. That's so huge.
Yeah, so like the fact that he's getting Robo, he can just make like an Immortal and go into Colossus from here. And just make ground units, and he's going to be A-okay.
So, the Robo's now done. Got some more gates coming up here, and I think Trap has really brilliantly maneuvered this, considering. You know, we saw initially the Zealot's going to die no matter what, but the fact that he managed to scout that and identify that aLive is trying to up the pace here and get a little bit more ground domination. Because of the way the upgrades came out here, Starport's going to be a little bit later.
Yeah, with a build like what aLive is doing here, what he's looking to maybe run into is like, oh, what if you went like, let's say a Stargate, right? And then you have like just a handful of units, and you're trying to keep your opponent back, maybe with Oracle, and you take a 3rd Nexus, and then he can maybe run up and, you know, really mess you up, right? He can attack the natural, he can attack the 3rd. Where do you put your shield batteries? You know, which side of the Nexus even? You know, there's a lot of different things to take into consideration where aLive can mess with you. But this follow-up from Trap, like the fact that he just like has units, and look at this, he's not being overly greedy. He's getting 1 Forge, not 2.
Right.
He's going into Colossus Tech. Like, this is great against this. He's going to have the muscle. He's going to have the hit points to stay alive. And he should be able to take a 3rd base quicker than aLive and defend what aLive is doing.
And the Observer gets here just in time to see when the Starport swaps with the add-on.
Yeah.
So he's going to know at what rate Medivacs can start to come into play. And, you know, with the Colossus coming out this early, it's kind of a conundrum for the Terran. You need some Vikings to hit that Colossus, but you also need Medivacs to heal your army up. And this sort of gives a tempo edge here to Trap.
So the next question is, like, there's 3 more gates on the way. So
here we go. Get ready for the stim. Okay. Did he just cancel that turret?
Yep. That was like sitting there waiting just in case. You never know what's going to come. If it's a DT, you finish that in like a millisecond. Otherwise, you save the money. So good move. But look, he's getting his Colossus out, and he's adding his gateways into his 3rd Nexus. This is nice conservative defensive play from Trap. Like, very, very well done. Now, this isn't to say this isn't like a free win by any means.
No.
Build order-wise, aLive had the early counter to Trap, but now Trap has countered well the build that aLive followed up with. And now it's just like, okay, does aLive get damage done? Does he lose too many units is a big question as well, because it's not like his 3rd command center is that slow.
Right.
It's got an okay time on it.
Also, let's keep in mind, aLive does have a large ground army.
Yeah.
If he can get a good angle on the Protoss, that's another way to win.
Absolutely.
You know, sometimes in the Protoss fights, and it's a little bit too out in the open, and we start to see that C-shape army from aLive come out and really do damage from all these different sides. That's another way that this can close out. Now, he might be able to force a cancel, and I'm sorry, not a cancel, because that just now finishes. Now, the angling here from aLive is not bad. He only has 2 sentries, so he doesn't have a lot of force fields available.
Yeah, Trap actually, I feel like he needs all of his units here. aLive playing very carefully. He stimmed some Marines up. I feel like those were supposed to go to the natural, but he misclicked or something, because now he stimmed them again and is going in.
Okay, this has been handled very well here from Trap.
Yeah, and actually, was that a kill on the 3rd Nexus or a cancel?
That was a kill, because the Nexus just finished up and that attack started. It was really well timed out there by aLive.
He didn't lose that much. That was good. That was really quality from aLive, because what Trap did, I think, was like just strategically very, very strong. So
yeah, but it was the timing attack from aLive that managed to close it out.
Yeah,
it was too late to cancel that. I mean, the idea of sending those Marines inside the natural on stim and killing probes was a cool idea as well. It didn't really pan out to very much, but taking out that Nexus is pretty big.
The 3rd Colossus on the way. a second starport for aLive, as well as Viking production.
Well, I think he's got to do this with the
Yes.
Colossus count continuing to grow.
It's I think that this is a totally fine way to play if you're willing to make the Vikings. We still see to this day, and it's something we've been talking about since like Wings of Liberty, people walking in with like 4 Vikings against 3 Colossus as if those Vikings are doing anything in the world but being a waste of money.
Your entire ground army is dead.
Yeah, and then you kill the Colossus or something.
Maybe one Colossus dies.
But no, if you're going to commit like this, if you're going to fly in there and like 1 to 2 volley every Colossus and then land the Vikings, hell yeah, do it. So I like that play a lot. He's got his 3rd base up. Of course, Trap, he's continuing to get upgrades off of his single forge, getting the charge upgrade as well. This is a great game as well. These guys are playing awesome.
Yeah, aLive's looking very solid. How many Vikings does he have right now?
I think
it was
got to be
4 or
nearing
5?
10. He should
So
have
way more than that,
6
excuse me.
right now with 3 more popping, I think.
Okay, well, yeah, it looks like the medevac count is kind of low here, so you're probably right.
Yeah, there's 6 right there.
Okay, 6 coming up now, and then there's more to boot.
Yeah, there's 3 coming across the map right now. So like 9 Vikings. Okay, now we're talking real Viking numbers here.
Now, with a low medevac count, there's not a lot of sustainability for the ground army. So it's important that he does damage very quickly, because if there's too much splash, then everything from Terran just kind of bleeds out. Oh, okay, I thought that would have been odd if he was going to go for a drop here.
Yeah.
He's going to try to punch through.
You got to do a full attack right now as aLive. Get those Vikings in on top of everything. Look at this. The Stalker's coming. There's not that many Stalkers. Ooh, that was a bit of miss micro from aLive. No doubt about that. But now his Vikings going to town. He gets 1 Colossus, 2 Colossus. The 3rd Colossus is going to fall as well.
The 3rd Colossus as well as the Immortal there. Only an Archon here to deal some more splash. After that, it's just sentries. Oh, just sentries and Stalkers.
Yeah, charge is just about to finish.
Yeah, he needs those Zealots to get up in the front and sponge up the damage. Look at this. aLive does this a lot, apparently.
Yeah, really nice multi-pronged harassment here, just kind of stemming in. Yeah, 3 probes. Lost mine time. 2 units having to come off. Look at that. It's so good for a couple Marines.
Now, there could be a game of tug-of-war here at the Protoss' 3rd base. We don't have the other Colossus out just yet. But it's important for Trap to try to rebuild that up again.
I want to mention as well, we saw that moment of Mistmaker where all the bio ran forward instead of the Vikings. Not sure what happened there. That was a mistake by aLive. I think if he hadn't done that, there's a possibility he gets the 3rd here. Or maybe even wins the game if there's a complete commitment to defense. Instead, he's had to pull back some. But he's going into Mass Liberators. He's getting his Ghost Academy. So aLive's still playing a really nice, strong game here. Despite that bit of miss micro that really did cost him quite a bit.
Let's see how the Liberators can help out here. We only have 1 Colossus out right now for Protoss, seeing it just over here. A scan is going to identify the exact size of the army. And I think this is much needed for Trap here, to start to send Zealots. They're going to get a Zealot slow drip into these other expansions, because this is going to keep aLive honest. For most of this game, aLive has had the initiative, basically since the Marauder opening.
Yeah. You know what? I think you're exactly right about that. And he hasn't been, quote-unquote, honest. He's had really no defense at home. Yeah. He's just been like, no, I'm out on the map. I'm messing with you this whole time. So he sets up a single Liberator. Maybe he'll even leave that there for now, knowing that that slow drip of Zealots could continue to come in. A couple of Zealots going around to try to harass his building 4th base. By the way, aLive getting 2-2. I tell you what, I didn't come in today expecting a lot out of aLive. But he's doing a lot of cool things like countering and recountering build orders, having good strategic play, and committing to things like Vikings instead of making 4 and wondering why he doesn't kill Colossus. And here he is taking a 4th base and getting 2-2. I'm loving it, man.
He's really revamped his style. There are ghosts out now. I don't know if Trap can actually push into this area. He's doing a good job poking holes in aLive.
That 1 Zealot just got him to move his whole army out of position.
Yeah.
But he sets up. All right, he's fine anyways. That was... Imagine if he died to that.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like you went and chased 1 Zealot with your whole army. Oh, he has to cancel.
Whoa.
Well, that's some strong pressure from Trap, no doubt.
Trap is going to try to come in here now. Now, he does have Storm. This army is fairly clumped up.
Ooh. Oh, nice feedback. Good EMP, though.
Okay, he still has 2 more Templars here. The Ghosts are getting close.
Yeah, the EMP missing those other 2 High Templars, so still Storms. He does have to turn around. Scary armies being made on both sides now. 4 Vikings still kind of sitting around there. Okay, he is making more Vikings. He's going to commit to trying to killing off those Colossus once again.
Yeah, he might actually try to come in here and pick a fight, but there's a Warp Prism headed northbound. Again, aLive still on 3 bases where Trap's setting up his 4th.
Some disruptors being added. The Dark Shine, a second robotics. The 4th command center being made a little bit closer to home, so he's playing a bit more carefully there.
Those are the kind of storms
Yeah.
that aLive needs to have here.
Those are some nightmare storms
Okay,
for
now
him.
Trap's getting this warp in here. Even though aLive's played a great game, Trap may be crippling aLive over and over enough that in the big picture, he can close this out. Now, that great micro there, shuffling those Zealots over to the other side. But with this big attack, if aLive can burst this down, or if the EMPs can connect on the Templars, it's possible that he doesn't have enough. Now, I love the Disruptor play here.
Yeah.
Using something where even if you don't have mana, you still might be able to stabilize.
Yeah, and even if all your Colossus get picked off, I mean, the Disruptor, that is a comeback tool if there ever was one. Here we go. The Disruptor's coming up to the front, getting shot up. Whoa, a huge Disruptor hit. Oh, my God, 3 magnificent Disruptor hits. And if he holds this, it is because of those Disruptor
that
hits.
was exactly what he did. He
Oh,
identified,
my God.
okay, the one linchpin play, GG, the one thing that could stop him would be an EMP, and he teched out those Disruptors. Perfect answer. Shutting aLive down.
That was a really great game from both sides. You know, aLive, I feel like the 2 things where he made mistakes, that one run forward on the big attack, right?
Yeah.
Where he took a lot more damage, and he barely couldn't break the army of Trap after the Colossus were gone. So that was a huge amount of damage just put right onto his army at the beginning. That, you know, what can you do, right? You're losing extra units at that point, and StarCraft is a game where it can suddenly snowball in the other direction. So, like, I feel like maybe he wins the game if he doesn't make that micro mistake. And then, of course, that 4th base gank cancel is a little bit painful, but really well-played game from him. A nice counterplay from Trap as well. Damn, these matches are good today, Tasteless.
We are truly blessed. We're going to go to Darkness Sanctuary here and see if aLive could try to come back. Otherwise, Trap is going to move on to that winners match. We're going to have a great PvP.
Yeah.
If that's the case. All right, let's go. Oh, not quite ready yet.
No.
All right, we're still going to load into this game. I think Trap opened up with his own style. Looks really good. It just kind of came down to that one big attack and the fact that Trap had the answer. All right, our game's now loaded up. A little bit slower than normal. Let's do this. Game 2, Trap vs. aLive.
Jin Air Green Wings. Trap.
Just a really good play from Trap overall as well, I gotta say. Like, his decision trees there were awesome. Just really knew what to do at every moment.
Titan EX1. aLive.
And, I mean, the pressure from aLive, out of control. These split-offs of the Marines. He did mess one of them up with the 5 or 6 from the initial push, right? But then the one with a couple Marines got some really good value done and all that. I thought that was a great game. That was a great game.
Did aLive know about the Disruptors before he got there? Because I don't believe there was a scan. I'm not totally sure.
I'm not sure.
But when those Disruptors got up there, it just seemed like, you know, there's not a lot that Terran can do. You can see that he was really ready to close that out when the...
he had the anti-High Templar, he had the anti-Colossus.
He had enough air units that he just blazed down those Colossi before they got any massively effective shots off. But, you know, the way that the army was clumped up, those Disruptor hits were perfect. And after he had the warp in of just a few other units, I mean, basic units like Stalkers and Zealots, stuff like that, that's enough to clean it up. And, you know, let's also keep in mind that Trap did deny that 4th base from aLive. aLive did not have an avenue to keep the game going because that was shut down so quickly.
Yeah, that's definitely a painful moment. Going on to game number 2 here. GSL Darkness Sanctuary. We almost never have this, especially as like a map 2. And I want to go over why we actually have this map today, because I thought it was really, really cool looking at the maps that aLive decided to veto. He actually vetoed Backwater and Neon Violet Square. So those are probably the 2 most macro-friendly maps to Protoss in this matchup, right? Like, you can easily get 3 bases and have 1 attack path only from Terran, right? So the multi-pronged way that aLive likes to play this game doesn't really work on those maps. That makes a lot of sense for him to veto both those. But then that gives us this giant 4-player map that is the least practiced and the most vetoed map. So it's just kind of an interesting thing that we see.
Yeah. Also, when we have maps that maybe are less likely to be picked, we end up with games where there hasn't been as much research for all the players.
Yeah.
Even though this is a tournament and a TV show, it's also kind of a database for learning StarCraft 2. And, the maps that we frequent more, whatever game we're covering here at Africa TV, StarCraft 1 or StarCraft 2, the more information we have about it. So let's see if there's something kind of unusual that could pan out in a game like this. Oh my God, he's going to get away. Look at this.
Look at that. For instance, we already see this coming into play. That building placement on many, many maps blocks the Reaper from going behind by putting your pylon in front of the gas like that. On many maps it does. Apparently it does not on Darkness Sanctuary, so the Reaper lives.
Yeah.
Little things like that definitely can occur. But this is the modern age of StarCraft, right? Where, look at that, like that probe, you didn't click it correctly where it was going even. These are not maps that they just practice as much. There's so much more going on in the ladder because there is such a powerful practice tool in the StarCraft 2 ladder.
That's really worth pointing out because a lot of times we'll see these pro gamers look so streamlined and perfect, but you can definitely have bumpier games if it's just not the map that everybody's agreeing to practice on.
Yeah. It's like definitely the bumpier games are like this and Biogenesis, right? Because a lot of tournaments, only GSL uses this, and then like a Biogenesis is in other tournaments, but it's like this map where it gets vetoed a lot, A little bit of a wonkier map. But look, this is going to be pretty fun. This map is very different. Each corner of the map, because it's a 4-player map, has a little quadrant of basically like 4 bases. It's huge, huge, huge. So, of course, we see aLive quite quickly going into 3 command centers, really focusing on his economy. Looks like kind of a greedy play from Trap, getting his quick third Nexus off of Robo plus Blink. But, that's it. You're pretty good on your defense against everything with this as well.
Now, aLive's been very good at... Oh, he beat me to it. I was going to say he's been very good at scanning these observers. Let's see if he gets it here. He does. Usually it's players like TY we think of as insta-scanning and getting that every time. 2 Forges coming down now for Trap.
Well, he gets that scout off, sees 3 command center, only 2 barracks done. He knows he can't die. He knows nothing's going to hurt him.
Yeah, and
got to get the double
the exact response you want to have is you're investing into late game.
Yeah.
It's the blink as well here. You don't want any drops to hurt you. We'll just get the blink out of the way coming up here.
And the move out was really good too. Just having your stalkers move across the map. Your opponent already has a semi-defensive mindset because he went 3 command center. So you just kind of like, defend, look at me, I'm going to attack, haha, I'm going to attack.
This is a little bit weird. Some of the Marines are still out on the map. Now, Blink finishes as these Stalkers come up, but I'm wondering, these Marines look like they're going to be mathed out to maybe hit the 3rd?
Yeah, they definitely could be.
They could, because Stim's going to finish. Now, you don't have any escape because there are no medevacs out. The first 2 are being made right now. But with these coming out, and the fact that some of the Stalkers are far away, maybe aLive does get this Stim timing down.
Let's see. There are a decent number of Stalkers here, like with the other ones coming up, but that is a strong Stim forward. Getting a couple probes going for these Stalkers as well. Ooh, gets that pylon empowering quite a bit.
Okay, he's lost a pylon and a small number of workers.
This was worthwhile, I would say. I think that this was a very good attack overall to unpower everything for a moment. 5 probes, lost mining time. If you look at what aLive has a lot of, it's bio units right now, right? And if he can trade some of these Marines to slow down Trap and kind of force Trap onto his side of the map, I think these are just quality moves.
Now, he's moving out with medevacs, and he knows that Blink's here. Now, this isn't wrong, but it can be risky. And it seems like Trap's already cognizant there might be a drop inbound here. He's going to be coming up here with these Stalkers. Now, if he can catch this, and aLive's not ready, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, you can see a couple miscalculations of how quickly the medevacs will get everywhere.
He's right over here.
Ooh, good catch by Trap.
And that was so nicely done. That's the exact number of volleys so that you 2-shot that. Just locking aLive out of any kind of a drop play. But there's a push inbound.
Yeah, it's a pretty big push, and there is the other medevac out here. So he gets that 1 Stalker. Some more Stalkers still left on the side.
It seems like he's going to regroup here in the middle and then try to come and start doing damage. We have an Immortal on the way. Trap still doing a very good job stalking with this Observer.
Okay, he's starting to seal up part of these routes. Shield battery coming down. Immortal on the way. Kind of an emergency Immortal, I would call it. He has his charge upgrade. He has his blink upgrade in 1-1. This army of aLive, though, is pretty darn scary.
aLive coming up now. Now, can he get the right angle in here? Some of these Widow Mines could be gunned down before they burrow. One is taken out just now. Now, Zealot Legs is done. Note how conservative Trap is being with some of those Zealots, waiting until the ideal moment to try to send them in.
Yeah, and burrows and unburrows on the mines as well from aLive. Targets down the Immortal. Has to back up, though, as another group of charge lots comes in. Great splitting there by Trap, just allowing a couple of those Zealots to be hit by the mines.
Trap trying to break this, but a great counterattack here with these Zealots, taking out some of these SCVs. Trap's going to try to press forward. 2 more Widow Mines burrowing back. Over here, they might be eating some mine hits, though.
Some good micro here from Trap. He's just buying time. He gets the Zealots out, and then he goes forward once again while his own Zealots harassing on the other side of the map. Another Immortal comes out, and mostly a Marauder-based army has to back up against this now.
Yep, the Stalkers come forward now, picking off these medevacs. And these Zealots are still here. Every moment that passes where he's not mining is going to become more problematic, and there's not going to be many options to escape here. Okay, so the medevacs have to ditch the Marauders. Big blow here for aLive. As the attack was stopped, I mean, it's fine if you lose Zealots and a few Stalkers in a fight like that if you're keeping all your bases up and running and you're not really losing any probes.
Yeah, you know, that type of rallied attack, not only is the map huge, but they're cross spawns.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, eventually a good Protoss player will whittle down your army, and we see him losing more units there than maybe he wanted to, even though he started with a very scary amount. Trap holding on there and just continuing on the upgrade train. You have to say that he has gained an advantage after that fight. But it's not like aLive is down and out by any means. He does have 2-2 on the way, although a bit later than Trap's. He's taking his 4th base. It's already, right? Is he making his 4th command center? Actually, I'm not sure, but...
we don't see it in production, so if it's done, it hasn't been lifted.
Yeah. At least he gets his Ghost Academy and stuff. He's not out. It's just that attack overall, I don't think had anywhere near the efficacy of what he was looking for, I guess.
Well, you know, they seem evenly matched until you get to a certain point in the game, and then Trap seems to outgrow aLive. And I think it's going to be even harder for aLive to get a 3rd base this time around because Zealot Harass did so much damage and slowed down so much mining. Trap's 4th base is already up. He's transferred the proper amount of probes over there. Templars are out.
I'll see, like, for instance, right now, this army of aLive, right? Look at the army supply. We'll just use something simple like army supply. He's up a little bit in army supply, right? But his rallies are going to take a long time, whereas a defensive Trap is going to have his units immediately into the battle. So even though you're leaving with slightly more units, now if Trap's base was where aLive is right now, oh wow, nice attack, nice advantage, right?
Yeah.
But by the time he gets there, Trap is going to have as many units. And then by the time his rallies get there, Trap is going to have as many units. So it's a little bit hard for him to push this.
Yeah, well, big maps like this and cross spots are not conducive to pushes in general.
Yeah.
Whereas Harass, which by the way is the route that a Trap went, he has defenses to stop drops if aLive comes, and he's got his own Warp Prism out here in case aLive neglects having that defense, and this time around he did. So Trap still can be busted down though if aLive has a really good engage. And he's proceeding very cautiously on this map right now. We see him taking that center watchtower. But once again, Trap comes in here. He's going to unload these Zealots. There's nothing here to indicate that he's really going to acknowledge that this is a threat. He just has the Marines that are coming out of this War Prism, and it looks like he'll actually be able to micro this away. The Liberator's going to have to chase this down.
Some nice usage of the building placement there to really shut down those Zealots as quickly as possible. Nice moves from aLive as well in the main attack here. He's going to break down these rocks and go right up that hill. Ooh, that's some valuable tech. Colossus on the way. Ooh.
Colossus just about to get out, but some nice side storms there. The Ghosts over here are coming forward. The one Colossus should be microed up just to the top here.
The force field's really being worth so much at this point.
Man, the damage is too much here. Yeah. Back at aLive's base. This is tricky. Note the Templars coming around from the bottom. aLive's screen is most likely over at this ramp, so this could just hit him and completely blindside him.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, that storm flank is almost all she wrote here at this point.
Yeah, that's all you got to do, right?
Yeah. aLive losing way too much economy and way too much army with this. I have to point out that I think aLive is playing very well today, overall his play, but strategically on this map, like I loved his play on the first map almost completely, aside from some micro mistakes, but like to do these pushes where you're just kind of pushing out, it's so hard to finish your opponent. The map is so long, and you give him a lot of time to prepare, and Trap just sitting with a warp prism across the map. He sees you coming, he has observers, he has intel of this. He can start harassing you while your entire army's walking across the map, right? And fight your reinforcements even with his prism. And then also have time at home to have more units finish. Maps this large, it's just really hard to kill anyone in that way. You have to play that much longer macro game where you have, like, infinitely strong army, right? It's like, wow, look at me, I have 12 ranged liberators, now I can kill you. You know, that type of situation.
This means we go on to the winner's match next. A PvP that's going to be awesome. Trap versus Zest. We'll go to that after this short break.
If I told you after everything